10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Well, hello.
Where is everybody?
I don't know. You know what else I don't know? I forgot what we said we were going to talk about tonight.
One we were going to talk about quickly about the recasting of Ray Stevenson.
Yes. Forgot about that. Okay, that's what it was. Yeah, I remember we were talking about something last night. Just don't remember what the hell it was.
They had the perfect choice if they could have got him, but they didn't go with him. Now, I think the actor that plays the Hound is a good actor. Don't look anything like Ray Stevenson.
I don't know. I mean, I've never seen him. I've seen him do the Hound, and I've seen him do shit. What's that the second one in the Coronado trilogy?
Hot Fuzz.
Hot Fuzz. There you go.
Yar.
Those are the only two things I've seen him do. And neither one would I say is like spectacular, like, although, I mean, I guess.
Yar.
I don't know. I'm trying to think that character on Ahsoka was not, I guess, maybe like the greatest.
Yeah,
like,
but
character. I don't know. But the problem is I've seen Ray Stevens do a really good job acting in a lot of stuff.
Yes, Ray Stevenson is a phenomenal actor. Was a phenomenal actor.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. For those who wonder, we're talking about the Ray Stevens character in Ahsoka, who they recast as the Hound from Game of Thrones.
And somehow you don't know Ray Stevenson passed away. Very mysteriously. Did they ever tell cause of death?
If they did, I don't remember what it was. So, yeah, I don't know.
Do we have any background music?
What happened to my background music was... Oh, it's there. It's really low.
Yeah.
I don't know. Ask the audience. Audience, can you hear the background music?
I can hear it now.
Yeah, it's really low for some reason.
Still, I haven't watched anything new lately.
I've been rewatching older stuff. I rewatched Peacemaker to get ready for the new season. And then I haven't watched the new season yet.
I didn't like Peacemaker, so I'm not watching.
Oh, you didn't?
No. The only thing I liked about Peacemaker is the intro. You know why? Because Alan Tudyk wrote it and set up the choreography for it.
Yeah, well, his wife did the choreography.
No, Alan Tudyk did the choreography too.
No, it was his wife. His wife's a choreographer.
Yeah.
That's how he met her. That's how he knows James Gunn, because she works with James Gunn a lot.
I got a puppy dog.
Trying to do something with this fly face. I don't know. I think I might be onto something. Anyway,
Attacked by a dog.
I watched that. I've been rewatching Preacher. Which is, I love that show. I think, honestly, that show, I'm really surprised it got 4 seasons, because I think a lot of people just didn't get it, which is fine. I think the only reason it got 4 seasons was because of the producers, one of which being Seth Rogen. They had cred, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To do something. Because most people I talk to that have not read the Preacher comics just do not get that show, and did not really care about it or find it interesting or anything like that. I love the show. I think the show's great. I think it was really well done, even though Seth Rogen had something to do with it. Because I'm not a big fan of his.
No,
but that show was good.
He did not act to save his life.
No, he's just himself and everything.
He does.
Yeah, he's the same character, and he's just himself in everything.
And he's an obnoxious person.
Yeah. Which, I mean, look, I guess that's fine for some stuff, whatever. You know, I mean, look, everybody does it. Tom Cruise, Will Smith, Arnold Schwarzenegger. There are certain actors that just are always the same character and everything, which is basically just them, which is fine.
Some of that works fine, but others that don't.
Like, I mean, I like some of the movies Seth Rogen's been in. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes that character that he is fits with whatever the movie is or whatever. But like when he tries to go off and do other stuff and like, I
didn't like him turning the Green Hornet into a comedy.
That was. So I actually used to watch the Green Hornet as a kid.
Same.
I'm sure you did too, because it was on reruns in the 80s. Just like Batman 66 was.
Yep.
And it was, I mean, it was definitely of its era. There's no doubt about that. But I kind of had high hopes for that show. I thought that him being cast was just retarded.
Yes.
However, when I first saw the trailers, I was like, oh, okay, because he like lost a bunch of weight and got somewhat in shape and seemed to be taking it seriously. And then I went and saw the movie and I was like, oh, yeah, you're right. They just turned it into a fucking comedy. Like, that's all they did.
Yeah. Man, I absolutely hate the whole concept of taking serious drama shows, then turn it into a comedy movie. Like that was a whole genre for a while there in Hollywood.
Oh, yeah.
Starsky and Hutch and 21 Jump Street and name of several others, like the Green Hornet. And
I'll be honest, though, I really like 21 Jump Street movies. They're stupid, but they're funny. That being said, I still like, I mean, you know, we're the same age. I grew up on the original 21 Jump Street.
Yeah.
And it was a good show. Even after Johnny Depp left, it was still a good show. I still liked it.
At least when they did the 18 several years back, it wasn't comedy. It was over the top, but wasn't a comedy.
Yeah, it fit with the vibe of the show.
Yeah.
I like that movie a lot. Although I like the other
in the flying tank.
Yeah. Although honestly, I like the other version of it that came out the same year, which was The Losers, better. Which was a comic book, but it was very A-Team-esque.
Yep.
Not a lot of people knew that was a comic book when that movie came out. Very good movie though. I liked it a lot. Yeah, no, I don't know, man. Like you know, another one. Speaking of like old superheroes that they made into movies and stuff, and I need to go back and watch it because I haven't watched it in a really long time. But I remember really liking it. But I probably haven't watched it since like the 90s. Was The Shadow. And I hate Alec Baldwin, but I remember really liking that movie.
But you say that funny. It's like I was flipping through reels earlier today, like everybody does, and it was like a clip of The Shadow where he was doing the training with the dagger that's trying to kill him.
Yeah, that coming alive and bites his hand and all that shit. Yeah, there was two movies that I remember from the 90s because you know, Batman 89 came out, so the first couple years of the 90s they were trying to jump on a superhero bandwagon. So you had The Shadow. The three biggest ones I remember were The Shadow, The Rocketeer, and The Phantom.
Which I like The Phantom too.
I haven't watched it in so long I don't remember if I liked it.
It's probably 90s since I watched The Phantom.
So, like, out of those three movies, I remember liking The Rocketeer, and that's the one I remember the most. because it's probably the one I've seen the most.
And I like the
and I remember liking The Shadow, but I haven't seen it in a long time. The Phantom, I don't remember if I liked it or not.
I do like the clip of the Italian mafioso, like when they found out like they're working for the Yahtzees. They're like, we may be a crook, but we're American crooks.
Yeah. Those are 3 movies I need to go back and like do a rewatch on, because I haven't seen those in a long time. And there was some. What was cool about those movies was, like, I mean, obviously Batman had just come out, so that obviously made a huge difference. But outside of Batman, and then 10 years prior, the first 2 Superman movies, like, Hollywood had not tried really with comic book stuff. And so when Batman blew up, like, it was cool to see studios actually put a little money into some properties.
Superman 78 was a pretty big movie for its time. So.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you go back 10 years previous, you got the first 2 Superman movies in that general time frame.
Yeah.
But you had those 2. The second 2 movies are fucking dog shit.
And with just for inflation, the first Superman movie's done better than any modern Superman movie. It broke $1 billion if you just for inflation.
Oh, just in ticket sales, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's like New Superman versus Man of Steel, right? Like, Man of Steel not only actually made more money, like dollar for dollar, without adjusting inflation.
Sold more.
It also sold like more than twice as many tickets, because tickets cost less back then.
Well, people are doing mental gymnastics trying to say the new one's doing better. It's like, no.
The new one's not doing better. And that's fine. Like,
Yeah.
I like the new one. In fact, I was sitting here this morning doing custom stuff, watching the new Superman movie on my computer. I like it. There's nothing wrong with the movie. Like, I got some little nitpicks here and there, and I did a whole video on it. But, like, I like the movie.
Yeah.
But Man of Steel was a better movie. Like, then there's nothing wrong with that. So I don't know why people are trying to fucking make it like, oh, one's got to be, well, this new one's got to be better than the last one. I mean, it doesn't have to. The new one, look, there's undoubtedly some stuff that the new one did better than the first one. Like, I mean, just being more comic accurate is a big deal to comic book geeks like us. Because it was more comic book accurate, like a lot more comic book accurate.
George, we were not saying Man of Steel is worse. So
No, I actually think Man of Steel is a better movie. Like, I enjoy Man of Steel more.
It is a more cinematic piece.
Yes, it absolutely is. Like, Man of Steel for over a decade
feels like a high-budget CW movie.
Yes. Yeah. Very comic book accurate, very bright, very fun, very lighthearted. Very much like but like just picking up any random Superman comic and taking it directly from page to screen. That's what that is. Man of Steel is very cinematic. Man of Steel is, to this day, like, we're 12 years after that movie came out, still a movie that I watch several times a year. That I just put on just to watch. Like, that movie gives me the feels.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I love that fucking movie.
If we could get like a color corrected one, I'd love it even more if it wasn't so desaturated.
Yeah, it is. Zack Snyder has for all the good and bad, and I'm not a Snyder bro or anything like that. But in general, like, I like most Zack Snyder movies. I don't like all of them. Rebel Moon's a piece of shit, but and he's had other movies that suck.
That's insulting the pieces of shit.
Yeah, but in general, I like most Zack Snyder movies. I love Man of Steel. I like Sucker Punch. I think Watchmen is fucking phenomenal. I love Dawn of the Dead. I love 300. Like, most Zack Snyder movies are actually pretty good. But there's no doubt he's very style over substance. Which is why I think he does a good job when he's adapting somebody else's story, as far as like not having to come up with anything on his own, because that's what he's good at.
Rebel Moon has proved that tremendously.
Yes, yeah, he shouldn't. Now that being said, I did like his fucking zombie movie, the Netflix one. Was it Army of the Dead or whatever?
I'm sorry.
Now it's a very different kind of movie.
It's not. I'm not complaining about the movie, but how in the hell, through all the editing, shooting that movie, did you not notice your camera had a dead pixel?
Yeah,
I'm sitting there watching that movie. It's like right there, like where your Iron Man is, like on your screen behind your head, like your label there. There's a dead pixel right there, a big dead square in the screen. I was like, oh god. Oh, you want to turn on the chat overlay?
Forgot about that. I always forget about that shit.
Oh, it's easy to forget.
There we go. Well, now y'all got to say something, motherfuckers. George was all talkative till I turned the chat overlay on.
He says Man of Steel was made after Nolan's Batman, and they tried to make Man of Steel realistic. Nolan's Batman that's why it's different than Superman 2025. It's just in his more gritty style too, though.
Yeah,
he makes everything.
And look, Zack Snyder has a certain way like many directors do. There is a way he does things, and he's very good at doing things that way. And when the material fits with that, whether it's Watchmen or 300 or whatever, it works. And I think the story that they went with Man of Steel, which was put together by Nolan and the other guy's name that's Nolan's producer. I'm blanking on his name, but anyway, the guy that produced the Dark Knight trilogy. Anyway, they worked on that script and stuff, and the script they wrote for Man of Steel worked with Zack Snyder's style.
Now, I will say that there are some things I don't like about Man of Steel, and there's things I like about Man of Steel. Some of his like styling stuff on Krypton, I will always laugh at the stupid like penis ships.
Oh yeah, the giant dildos flying into the Phantom Zone
chambers. Yeah,
I will say though, despite penis ships, I absolutely love the beginning of that movie because it's the first time we've ever gotten any real depiction of Krypton like that. Like, we got the Crystal Cave fucking trial in Superman in 78 and 80. 78 and 80, right? 1 and 2. We got a little bit of that, which was not comic book accurate. Although they tried to make it comic book accurate after Crisis on Infinite Earths, but it was stupid. All the Crystal Cave shit. But it was like it didn't feel like a fucking studio, and it didn't feel like a ripoff of 78 Superman. Mm-hmm. It was its own real. The world felt real. Like, oh, this was an alien civilization where shit's very different, and like it was unique and different and real. And it wasn't the Krypton I grew up with, because the Krypton I grew up with was the 60s era Krypton, where Superman's dad looked exactly like him for some reason, because that's just how they drew him. So I don't know why, just because. But
time in the comics too, though, the Kryptonians didn't reproduce normal, like the old-fashioned way. They actually were genetically grown. That's with post-crisis. I think what they did he wasn't a baby in the little pod. He was actually created in the pod. So when he arrived on Earth, he was actually born on Earth.
Yeah,
which, if you're going to send your genetic material out into space, Sending a baby across the vast of space in a little spacecraft is probably not a good idea.
Probably.
If you put the genetic material into the pod to create a Kryptonian, and so when it detects a habitable planet, it goes through the process and starts growing the incubation chamber. Basically, what it is an incubation chamber.
Yeah, it's a test tube baby.
Yep. Post-Crisis Superman, that was a test tube baby until one of the many of Crisis events they had over throughout between Crisis on Infinite Earths 2 before New 52, before they reset it. They retconned it and put it back where he was a baby in the pod, which don't make sense with Hank Henshaw, because Hank Henshaw got the genetic material to create his cyborg body
from the pod,
from the Matrix pod.
There was I don't know. Like, I was about to say, oh yeah, there was a lot of shit after Crisis that just was confusing and didn't make sense. But honestly, there was a lot of shit before Crisis that was confusing and didn't make sense, and they retcon shit constantly all the time too. So it's just a comics thing, I guess. Always changing origins to come up with new stories and retconning stuff, or you know.
When you have like 80 plus years of history, and like you're trying to dozens of people writing, they go like, oh, we got to fix things. So we have this big Crisis event to clean things up.
Yeah. Yeah. I like it. And like George is saying in the chat, I would have liked to have seen Zack Snyder get a chance to just do what he wanted to do with the DCU, the way James Gunn's getting a chance now. I would have liked to have seen it. Because I like half those movies that came out.
Yeah.
And the other half range from, it was fine to it sucked. But half of them I liked. And I would have liked to have seen him be able to actually go through and do his version of Justice League, and then Justice League Part 2, because it was supposed to be a 2-part fucking thing with Apocalypse and all that. And, you know, just like really get into it. I mean, I love Man of Steel. I love Wonder Woman. I like both Aquaman movies. I know a lot of people fucking don't like the second one.
I never got around to watch the second one.
I like it. I think it's a really good movie.
The first one was pretty good.
Yeah, the first one was a good movie. It's a good, fun movie. I like both Aquaman movies. I have a love-hate relationship with Dawn of Justice, because there's a lot in that movie that's good, but that was the movie you could tell was just chock full of studio interference.
Yeah.
Let's force as much shit into this fucking 2.5-hour movie once it was cut down. Let's force as much shit that doesn't need to be in this movie as humanly possible. I could have been down for a Batman v Superman. You know what I mean? Like, I could have been like, okay, all right. I mean, it's a little early for that, but you know, fuck it, why not? I would have rather seen a Man of Steel 2, but all right, Batman v Superman, and just stick to that story. And if you want to do some cameos and things like that, but add in the whole Death of Superman Doomsday thing onto the end, and throwing in every fucking Justice League member, and it was just, they just packed way too much into that movie.
I will never understand why they thought Man of Steel didn't perform enough to do a sequel when it made close to $700 million.
Yeah.
And just because it didn't break $1 billion, they thought, oh, it's a failure. You made money.
Which, by the way, in 2013, that was really good.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, it didn't make as much money as Avengers had the year before, but come on, it was never going to. It still made a ton of money.
Avengers was a 10-year process.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. There was a lot of mistakes made with the DC movie universe, the DCFU or whatever the fuck they're calling it. But I still liked at least half those movies. Okay,
JB, you're gonna have to let us talk. You gotta quit interrupting us.
You're just too talkative tonight, JB. Way too fucking talkative. You know, a movie I unapologetically love, like I love, and it was very, very
Darkman.
disappointed that it was like right there at the end of the DCU. Although I'm hearing rumors that there's hope. God damn it. There's hope that it might actually make it into James Gunn's universe. I fucking love Blue Beetle. Blue Beetle is very, very formulaic, but like in a good way. Like it is, the formula is basically half Iron Man, half Spider-Man. You know what I mean? As far as like an origin story and the building of a hero and that kind of thing. Very formulaic. It's very predictable. There's nothing unique really about the movie. It's just really, really well done.
I'll be right back. I got to get your heads out of the alcohol wash.
Oh,
Your Mephisto heads.
oh, nice.
We're in two different sizes. See how it fits.
I can't wait. I'm very excited. Mr. Jib, let's just start calling you Mr. Jib. Why don't you have your glasses on? Are you having a fucking migraine?
A little bit. That's why I took them off. They were starting to irritate me. Yeah, they were starting to. I was getting a little bit of migraine. So
I fucking hate migraine. I don't get them like you do.
Yeah.
But I have gotten migraines in my life. I still get like ocular migraines, like at least once a year. I get like ocular migraines where you fucking your vision's all fucked and shit. And they fucking suck, dude.
I've gotten that. I get that more times than on the ocular migraine. I get that a lot. So I took them off for a little while.
So JB, give me your opinion on the DC FU. What did you think of it in general?
It's like what you guys said. There was so much potential, but it's basically like Raimi's trilogy. How Sony and AVR interfered with Spider-Man 3, and Raimi never got to do his vision of Spider-Man 3. So it's kind of like with Zack Snyder, like you said, we should have had Man of Steel 2 and a Batman solo movie before we got BVS.
Yeah.
Honestly. But again, like you said, corporations, Warner Bros., all of them wanted to quickly skip 10 years of work and jump right in to get a Just League film together. So I agree with every point you guys make about it. And I do like BBS, or BBS. I like that one, but I prefer the extended cut because there is more.
The extended cut's much better. Not only is there more material, but it's also re-edited to where some of the scenes make way more sense. There's some scenes that are actually moved to a different point in the movie that makes way more sense. But it's still got way too much in it. The whole Death of Superman Doomsday thing should have been its own movie and should not have. I mean, that should have come 10 years down the line of doing, Superman being in movies before you get to Death of Superman, because it didn't make any sense to do it in his second movie. But there's still, I still enjoy aspects of that. The first 2/3 of the movie, I still like. I think there's still a lot of good stuff in it. Suicide Squad is just a weird steaming pile of shit. I think I would love to. It is never going to happen. But what's his name? Is it Goyer, the guy who originally did that movie?
Yeah,
I would love to see what he had originally intended for that movie, because that movie was like half reshot to make it more funny.
It was,
and he was trying to make it like basically a fucking dark, like people die and get fucked up Suicide Squad serious action movie, which is not what we got. I would have loved to have seen his take on it. But as it stands, that movie is just a weird piece of shit movie that looks like a fucking music video. Wonder Woman, fantastic movie. Love Wonder Woman. First Wonder Woman is one of those movies. I can just rewatch all the time. First Aquaman movie is great. The Justice League.
This opportunity in Wonder Woman, though. If in the scene where she's going through the field, no man's land field, would have been a perfect opportunity to put do like a remix of the classic Wonder Woman thing.
Yep.
Yeah. The only thing I don't like about Wonder Woman is
the villain.
The end. Now, I don't mind Ares being in it.
Yeah,
I mind the
horrible
big
CGI
fight at
monster
the end because I think, and I know why the studio forced this ending. By the way, the original ending would have been so much better, which is essentially that in the end, when everything's going to shit and Wonder Woman confronts Ares, he simply says, "This time it's not me. The humans are doing it to themselves." Would have been a so much more powerful ending.
Yeah.
And like set up, it's just like, it's like, because that also makes way more sense for why she chose to fucking not be a hero for 100 years after that, in addition to losing Steve, she also like kind of turned her back on humanity and helping for 100 years because she was like, fuck, they're just killing themselves. You know what I mean? Like, it would have made way more sense. But the studio forced some big fucking bad guy CGI ending, which again wasn't awful. It was just way too formulaic, and there was a better, more poignant and powerful ending that had been written to the movie that would have just been better. It wouldn't have been a big fight at the end of the movie, but it would have been a better end to the fucking movie. Justice League fucking sucks. It's an awful piece of shit. It was so disappointing when I saw that at the movies, and I was like, this is what we're getting for a Justice League movie? Are you fucking kidding me?
I mean, we can agree that we should be glad that Zack Snyder at least got to finish his Justice League movie, but it's way too long. It's a little too long.
Well, it was 2 movies. It's supposed to be 2 movies.
It was 2 movies. It should have been 2
no,
movies.
Hold on. That was one movie. This part 2 where Apocalypse actually comes to Earth and they fight him was the second movie.
I think
he said had he been able to do his version, he probably would have cut it down to about 3 hours. So as he released it, it was 4 hours. So there's about an hour he would have cut out of that movie.
Yeah.
Which I think, he could have cut an hour out of that movie and it would have still been good. But it would have been basically a 3-hour movie. And then he would have done a part 2, which would have been completely different. But
I'm not saying it's a bad movie. I'm just saying it does feel there are scenes that do that.
Well, he basically,
and then there are some that
you got to look at it. He was given $20 million and told, just here's all the shit you did. Fucking put it together for streaming. And he was like, all right, fuck it. I'm going to do everything I shot and cut it into 4 hours because he could.
Yeah.
He would not have done that had it gone to the theaters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, he did it because, hey, why not? Fuck it. You know what I mean? Other than a handful of scenes that he did reshoot, which wasn't much, all he was doing was taking footage that was already there and just re-editing it. So he had 4 hours worth of footage. He was able to edit it into something that made sense, and which I fucking love. I love that movie. And he did because it was going to streaming. It wasn't going to the theaters, so he could do that. But I think that's a good movie. Aquaman, like I said, I think Aquaman 1 and 2 are just a lot of fun.
They are.
They're not particularly comic accurate. I mean, there's a lot of comic accurate stuff in them, but like Jason Momoa's version of Aquaman is not comic accurate at all. But they're still fun movies.
You know what would have been cool for an Aquaman movie, like a live action movie? You could have got like Aquaman from Brave and the Bold cartoon. Boisterous and like just like
Kill himself.
You're like top character.
Yep. But
it's kind of sad though that at the end we get Marsh Manhunter in full costume and getup, and they never use that character again. Like, that's the one thing that sucks about it.
Yeah. And it was that actor is a good. He was a good choice for Martian Manhunter.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been a good movie.
Because even the CW wasted the Martian Manhunter as well. They kind of wasted him in the TV shows also.
Well, I don't think they wasted him. I think that was I like that actor. He's been in a lot of stuff. He's a British actor that I'd seen for a really long time. So I watch a lot of British shit, and he's been in Doctor Who and a bunch of other stuff I watch. And I think he was a really good Martian Manhunter. And I think the character of Martian Manhunter was really well done in the CW. I think it was wasted on Supergirl, which was a bad show.
Yeah.
So that's my issue with it.
Well, too, you also got to think. You also got to think they couldn't keep him under the makeup and the costume for so long. So most of the time he had to be in human form,
which I'm fine with because I mean that's when
so it's fine.
Yeah, he's a shapeshifter and he had
plus too it makes sense to people as like the case of speech in Men in Black. Human beings are rational thinking people. People are panicky, easy to startle. They can't handle it.
The one thing I wish though is when they did Christ and Emperors and they went against the Anti-Monitor in the show. I wish he was at least in the makeup and costume then, but he was in his human form when they did that final battle against the Anti-Monitor. That's my only nitpick. That it would have been nice if he was at least in the full.
Well, there was a lot of stuff in the CW that was like that because it's the CW. I would say overall, the CW actually did pretty damn good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that everything on the CW was great because I thought Supergirl was shit, and I mean that fucking Batgirl woman fucking show. I watched one episode of it and was like, well, fuck this shit. And even Flash, after about 4 seasons of Flash, that show just went off the rails and fucking just.
Well, you had one of the Flash was probably the problem with Flash. One of the main villains was part of Team Flash, Iris West.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she was a horrible person.
Yep. George just reminded how Supergirl had Cyborg Superman. That's right, because they had the same actor play Cyborg Superman in that show. It was awful idea.
But I liked Arrow through and through, even that last season, which was rough. I still liked Arrow. Loved Legends of Tomorrow. Overall, that was probably my favorite show because it was just fun, goofy half the time. It didn't take itself seriously.
Well, it was like a comic book.
It brought in a lot of cool characters and stuff. That was the show I found the most entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
So I think CW did a decent job with DC. It was certainly not perfect, and I think the thing that it suffered from the most was the TV, 18 to 26 episode formula.
Mm-hmm.
I think had each show's seasons been like a streaming service or something where it was 10 to 12 episodes at most, you would have got much better stories that made more sense and didn't get stretched out over 24 to 26 episodes for no fucking reason.
Yeah.
Where they're having to use a lot of filler to fill in all those gaps. I think you would have had better shows, but I think that applies to all the shows on the CW because that's just the formula they were working with. But
I will give him props for giving Kevin Conroy the chance to play a Batman on live action. Even if he didn't get to don the cowl, I mean, it was still cool to see him as a version of Batman that he hasn't played yet. So
yeah.
And then, of course, Brandon Routh got his second chance to play Superman, which he was really good at what they had him. He was really good as Superman this time around when they had him, compared to in Superman Returns. But then again, he was still young. He was still not exact. He didn't really have that, I guess, confidence when they were doing Superman Returns. You're muted.
He was a brand new fucking actor that got picked out of obscurity.
Yeah.
Whereas on the CW shows, he got a chance to fucking just kind of be left alone and do his thing. I mean, as the Atom, he didn't, you know what I mean? He didn't have to fucking be the center of attention.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it finally got to the point to where he did Superman, he did a great job.
Yep.
Although I maintain he did a good job as Superman. Like, he was a good choice for a Superman movie.
Mm-hmm.
The problem was the movie was awful. Like, he would have still been a really good Superman in a completely different Superman movie. So, but unfortunately, he got cast to be in that piece of shit.
Mm-hmm.
So, but the other movies I really like from the DCU, I love both Shazam movies. They're just stupid fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually kind of like the second one better than the first one a little bit. The first one's good. I like both of them. I actually like very rare you like a sequel better, but I actually like Fury of the Gods a little bit better.
Well, it's probably too also because the first one's an origin story, the sequel is not.
Yeah.
Because how many movies do we have to see that's an origin story before we start? Think of it like think of it like Raimi trilogy. Spider-Man 2 is better than Spider-Man 1 because it's not an origin story. It's just a continuation of the characters' lives, like what they've been up to in between the films or what they've been up to since the first movie. So,
but you know what is probably, I don't know which one's worse. You guys tell me which one's worse, because to me the two worst DC FU movies or EU movies or whatever the fuck they're calling them are Wonder Woman 84 and Birds of Prey. Which Birds of Prey, I didn't really expect that movie to be great, because at that point, the only character from that movie that we even knew was Harley, and we had only ever seen her in that awful Suicide Squad movie. So I didn't really have high expectations for Birds of Prey, but no doubt it was an awful movie. Whereas Wonder Woman 1984, on the heels of the first Wonder Woman movie, which was a great movie, that was truly fucking disappointing. Because that was just an off, I don't think there's anything good in that movie after that first fucking that opening fight scene at the mall. I like that opening fight scene at the mall, and then after that, everything else in that movie fucking sucks.
So Wonder Woman 1984 is what's the worst one? Because at least in my head, I can think, yeah, Birds of Prey. I watch it with my wife. She's watched it twice, and she likes it more than me. And Birds of Prey is a little bit better movie compared to Wonder Woman 1984, because do you think when she makes the wish that Steve Trevor came back and he's in that and he's possessed that man's body, you got to think in a twisted way she's committing with another man.
He's raping that other dude.
Yeah, basically. So it's
now, that being said, I don't think he minds, but he's gonna be honest there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not. I don't like it. I don't like that movie.
I don't. And Cheetah was done poorly in the movie as well.
Well, horrible casting for Cheetah too.
Yeah.
They need to quit casting her in just roles she don't belong in.
Well, you know who else was horrible casting is fucking Pedro Pascal in that movie.
Yeah.
And he's horrible casting not because he did not do a good job with the material that was given to him. The way they wrote Maxwell Lord in that movie, he fit that role very well. The problem was they should not have written Maxwell Lord like that, or even thought about casting Pedro Pascal as Maxwell Lord, because that was not Maxwell Lord.
No.
I don't know who, they just called him Maxwell Lord in that movie. That is not at all what that character is like in any other format.
We can get one thing out of Pedro Pascal. It is good, but it can be better. We get that at least.
Yeah.
That's nothing. Maxwell Lord is nothing like that character.
No.
One way whatsoever. The only way that movie could redeem that movie is if they let Wonder Woman do what she did to Maxwell Lord in the comics. Let him check out his back. She was he was using his powers to control Superman, and she knew the only way to stop him was to. So she let him. She Spaceballs, like the Emperor on Spaceballs, when they transport him with his head on backwards, she does that manually.
Just playing chiropractor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's well, like a regular chiropractor would do.
Yeah. But I don't know, man. We'll see what happens with the new shit. Like I said, I like Superman. I like the new movie. I think it's fun. I've watched it a few times. You know, I like Peacemaker. I know you don't. I like Peacemaker. We'll see if season 2 is any good. And I liked his version of Suicide Squad. I know you didn't, Jared. But I liked his version of Suicide Squad. And I like Guardians of the Galaxy. So I'm hoping there'll be some fun movies. I don't particularly think James Gunn is going to do anything innovative or powerful the way, like, I look at an Avengers movie or even Man of Steel or whatever. You know, I don't think he's going to be doing any, like, powerful cinematic pieces. Now, that being said, he may, you know, since he's not directing everything, maybe bring some people in that actually do. I don't know. But I hope it's at least fun. I want good DC movies. You know? I think that's something that's missing from a lot of people's opinions on shit. They're like, oh, you fucking like Marvel movies. You hate DC. No.
In comics-wise, I like DC better than Marvel.
Well, and the thing is, like, there was this whole thing, you know, when Man of Steel and Batman v Superman was coming out and all this stuff, where it was like media was trying to turn people into you're either a Marvel fan or a DC fan. Yeah. And actual comic book fans are not like that. Maybe moviegoers fucking do that shit, but actual comic book fans were like, no, I want good DC and Marvel. Like, give me both. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to pick one or the other. I don't know any comic book fans that only read Marvel or DC and hate the other one. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm sure there are a couple out there.
Do you read Marvel? DC's better.
You know.
Honestly, if you go back and watch all the interviews leading up to the Superman movie, it'll make you appreciate the movie more if you go back and watch all the interviews they did for the film, like the promotion, especially the one where I'm sure it's been on Facebook of James Gunn directing David how to do the scene where Clark is telling Lex how he's a human, what it means to be human to him. So it just makes you appreciate the work of the film.
My problem is I know too much about comics. And James Gunn doesn't give a shit about the comic book characters' histories or how the comic book characters' powers and everything are. He just like, oh, this is a cool looking character. I like this one. And the closest, I was surprised how well he seemed to research Mr. Terrific.
Mr. Terrific was a good character.
Yeah, he was the standout of the movie.
Yeah.
Which is a Superman movie.
Yeah. Yes, George, I too want to see more movies made from Valiant Comics. Because yeah. I don't know why, because I shouldn't have, but I had higher expectations for that fucking Bloodshot movie. I shouldn't have. I really shouldn't have.
The only good adaptation we've had of live action of that was Ninjago versus the Valiant Universe, which was done by Bat and the Sun, it was done in episodes first, and then someone edited on YouTube to get into a full-length movie.
I never watched
taking all the episodes put together. It's not high budget, but it's pretty faithful to source material, but the actors are trying, but it's very low budget.
The problem with Valiant, as we've talked about many times, because it affects when we've talked about wanting Valiant action figures or more Valiant comics or everything, is the fact that they don't own the rights to half those characters anymore.
Yeah. Well, the ones we would like the most is like the Solar Mediana or Solar with the Torok the Hunter Magnus. Those are Gold Key comics.
Yeah.
Characters. Valiant was just using them. They had permission to use them back in the 90s.
Yeah. Now they did build off of that a lot of other good characters. I mean, Rye was an original character. Archer and Armstrong were original characters. The God damn it! Now I'm blanking on all the fuck characters. But they did spin off of those characters that they borrowed and make a lot of other good characters that they could. That I'm assuming they could still do something with if they wanted to.
They're apparently like Valiant's completely failed, and they're basically licensed their characters out to other companies now. And you have, and who's doing the new X-Men War, and they completely changed his look, and he looks terrible.
Oh yeah. When I saw that, because I sent that to you in the chat, the way they were redoing his armor, I'm like, what? It just looks like an Iron Man suit at that point.
Yeah, the whole made him unique was the whole bio-organic looking armor. He looked like a Guyver.
Yeah.
That's one thing. X-Men War is one of the original characters, but he was clearly a ripoff of the Guyver.
But he had this cool, like, I liked his origin of being like a fucking caveman that got captured by, what did they call them? The arachnids? I don't know I forget what they called them, but they were basically spider aliens. And like lived as a slave on their ship, but it was like there was like some kind of fucking, was it time dilation or something, so that when he finally returned to Earth, it was like modern day. I can't remember.
Like, I would assume it's probably just like FTL travel. If you're not boating subspace like with on Star Trek, where the closer you get to the speed of light, time dilation when your time is passing faster outside the ship than on the ship. So probably that. It's been so long since I read the original issue. I read it when it first came out. It's what, 30
well, then
years?
he comes back to Earth, and then he basically like, because it hasn't been a long time for him, but it's been long enough that he's no longer like a fucking caveman, and he comes back to Earth, and he almost turns into like a Bruce Wayne type character. You know what I mean? Like, he comes back to modern day, and he fucking ends up getting like fucking rich, and like he's got the Exo-Man award. Like there's a lot to that, and it was a good character. It's a weird cross between like Guyver and Iron Man and Batman, and it's like a bunch of these different things kind of mashed together to make that character.
Mm-hmm. Well, even the little thing, the armor unit thing, looks just like a dormant Guyver.
Yeah.
Even it's got the little round orb and everything.
Yeah, I'd love to see more of that. I don't know how. I mean, they could do it in comics, but I don't know. It'd be weird to see that at the in movies, but yeah, they could do it though.
By the way, I did finish Black Sail Season 1 today.
And?
It was great.
Okay, good.
I haven't gotten through... I'm not going to say perfect until I get through the entire show. Then I'll give a full-fledged thing. But so far, what I've seen in Season 1, I thoroughly enjoyed. I am looking forward to get started on Season 2 whenever I get the chance, and I'm not busy. But for what I've seen, and I will give them positives that the nudity they have in there, it's not just forced nudity like some shows do, but it ties into the story.
Forced nudity, all right.
Yeah. But it ties into the story, like it plays a part in the whole, like it factors in the story.
It does.
Yeah. So
Speaking of, did you hear you're talking about casting Bella Ramsey in Star Wars? Matt, I sent you a picture. I think my guess who it's going to be.
I saw the picture. I ain't got a chance to look at it yet, though.
Do you know the definition of looking at something?
It came through my watch. I have to go through my phone in order to see it. Hang on a second. I'll look. Let me see. Wow. I'm going to be a Hutt. That's great. That's really good.
Yeah. I mean, that's
I got to give that 100% right there.
the only role she would play.
Get 100% right there. There you go.
Yeah. I shared it if you want to put it there.
It means. Oh. There you go.
I made sure to make the face really small, like real life.
So this is what you was working on. Okay.
I'm going to be
Shameful. Shameful.
JR in the chat says Zoolander is the best superhero movie. I love the first Zoolander movie. That second movie was fucking awful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was.
All right. I don't know, man. I don't have much to talk about tonight, guys. I don't have I can't think of any. There's not a lot of geek shit going on right now.
I will say, this is terrible. I will drink it because I got it for free.
Cherry lemonade, or what?
But it's raspberry lemonade.
Raspberry lemonade.
Ugh.
I like the Simply shit, but I usually just drink the orange juice.
Lemonade.
The one I like the best is the orange pineapple. I never tried that raspberry shit.
I got it for free because the Walmart delivery person screwed up and gave me part of someone else's order. I called Walmart to tell them, like, oh, we can't take it back. But I just called and let you know I got someone else's order. They're not getting their stuff. Well, they'll get a refund when they call. Shouldn't you let them know they don't have their stuff? Apparently, that's not on their priority.
No.
I think I might have to upscale the heads a little bit more than what I printed. They're much bigger than what you printed, but this is a big figure.
Yeah, he's a big boy, man. I've been doing all the. I spent most of what I've been working on today is him. Honestly, I was doing a little bit of touching up to my Wizard figure, but and working on like the head and stuff. But a lot of what I've been doing is just doing the resculpting on the body for this guy. So I'm getting him fixed up. So he's about ready. He's about ready for paint, but I'm not gonna do any paint until I get the head so that I can make sure I got the color matching properly.
Exactly.
I don't want to have to mix up another batch and have it be slightly off whenever I get the head for it.
Red's easy to do that too.
The what?
Red is easy to mix the shade wrong too.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna mix one batch for the whole thing. I'm still working on the. Still trying to find. I need to go by. I need to run by the store and check out some. Pick up some material. I'm gonna try and find a good material because I'm gonna do the belt with the fucking loincloth hang down pieces, and then I'm gonna make my own cape for him. And then once I do that, I mean, he just requires paint. I went through and I was just prepping him all up. So, like, this figure's got, he had bands around his arms. So I took all that down. He had some fucking scarring on his arms that's like fucking, I don't know, some kind of fucking Islamic fucking letters or some shit, because it's from the character all down both sides of his arms. So I took all that stuff off and sanded it, and so I just been prepping this dude, trying to get him ready. But then I was like, okay, so I had this head that I printed off a while back, and I was like, I wonder what that head would look like on this body, because I had that, like, it's a good, I like the sculpt, but you know, with my printer it didn't come off well, and then I put the fucking head on the body, and I was like, oh, that's not gonna fucking work at all. I was like, no. So
I printed 2 different sizes, and I think both of them are going to be just a tad bit too small. So I'll check see how much farther I need to go up from it, and I can kick off another print tonight. I need to get the SIF stuff boxed up and shipped out Tuesday, and I got a package to go ship off to Canada. Oh, Canada.
oh, Canada.
My friend up there, Steven up there, made his comic book character. He said his books.
Yeah, I saw that. You posted with like the cape and the hood and everything. Where'd you get the cape and the hood from?
Don did an incredible job on that.
Yeah, it looked really good.
I commissioned Don to make a cape for it, and he knocked it out of the park. And
Yeah,
Don,
it looked awesome.
if you need soft goods, his commissions I think are open right now.
Yeah, I wanna try and do my own. I usually buy that kind of stuff. But I'm like,
humble enough to admit, solely admit that sewing is not a skill set I can ever learn.
Here's the thing. I know how to sew. I've been doing it since I was a kid. So I figure I should at least give it a shot. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I don't know. You know, we grew up poor. You had to learn how to stitch up old clothes and shit so they didn't look like dog shit.
Well, my mom sewed, so I didn't have to.
So,
She even made like costumes for us when we were little for Halloween.
Tomcat says Simply Watermelon is really good. I've never tried. I've tried.
Either.
I've tried their orange juice and their orange pineapple. I don't even know if I've ever even tried just the regular lemonade. Honestly, I should, but I don't know. I don't drink a lot of juice anymore.
Oh, with Geek stuff, I did hear John Candy's son's going to play.
Oh yeah, play Barf.
You know,
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Jr.? My guess would be Barf Jr.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm very concerned about that movie. Not because I don't want a sequel. I've been wanting a sequel to Spaceballs for fucking 40 years. Just, I'm really, really, really hoping that it's good. You know, I mean, it's been a while since Mel Brooks has made a movie.
Plus
and
two.
with Hollywood being what it is today, like,
They're
I don't know.
probably going to try to make him not do stuff.
I'm just really hoping that that first of all, I'm hoping he's still capable of making a movie like he was. I mean, the fucking dude's in his mid-90s.
Yep.
So I'm hopeful he's still able to make a movie. And then I'm hopeful that if he is, that they will let him make the movie the way it needs to be made. They'll let him actually make a Mel Brooks movie instead of trying to change it because modern woke politics and shit.
Made for a modern audience.
Yeah, because I mean, you know, dude, we grew up on this shit. Like, I've been wanting a fucking another Spaceballs movie for so long, since I was a kid, and I really want it to be good. So I hope it is, but I mean, we'll see. I hope he survives long enough to finish making it. Dude's really fucking old, man. So I don't know, man. We'll see. We'll see. I'm going to be optimistically hopeful. So hopefully we are not disappointed. Just want a good Spaceballs movie, man.
Yeah. Whatever happened? They were talking about doing a RoboCop sequel, like replace RoboCop 3 and Peter Weller, I guess, as RoboCop. I would assume he'd just do the voice.
I mean, he certainly could.
He did in Mortal Kombat 11, so.
I would love to see. I mean, you know, we've talked about it before. There's a lot of things that you could do where you could like continue some of these things in ways that actually make sense and aren't just a stupid reboot. I mean, look what they're doing with fucking Tron. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
44 years, 43-year-old movie or whatever the hell it is. And that franchise is still going. And I mean, I don't know about this new movie. We will see. But I really liked Tron Legacy. Like, I like that movie better than the original. I thought it was a good movie. You know, we've talked about Last Starfighter before. I mean, the thing that makes the most sense for Last Starfighter is just fucking don't reboot it. Have it be a continuation. You know, that shit happened. That's what you do. You say that shit happened back in the 1980s, and now you get Lance, whatever the fuck his name is, to come back as like the mentor character in a new one. And with video games being what they are today, you just update it. And they're looking for a new fighter pilot, and they're using modern fucking video games the way they used arcade video games back then. And you have him be the mentor character.
And they have a perfect opportunity too, before they do the sequel, remaster the first one and change all the old school computer graphics to really nice modern graphics, and re-release it theatrically.
Yes.
If you had to
the movie story still holds up to this day.
Oh yeah.
The only thing that holds that movie back is the graphics. The story,
which were great for the day, by the way.
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
You know,
he was a pioneer at the time.
But yeah, there's like, you know, and like, again, just like you were saying, RoboCop could be done again. You could just continue that story. You don't have to reboot it. They rebooted it back in 2014. You don't have to reboot RoboCop. You can just continue it.
Yep. I was looking it up. It's called RoboCop Returns. They were talking about doing it as a sequel to the original movie and forget about 2 and 3. Like kind of like the one when they did the Halloween movie.
Which, I mean, you don't need to do, honestly. You don't need to forget about 2 and 3.
Well, I would say forget about 3, because 3 was trash. Yeah, and they killed off Lewis, and OCP, like, they completely changed what old ACP was. And
I'm going to be honest, I don't remember much about 3, other than the rocket pack.
And Peter Weller didn't come back for 3. It's PG-13, and it was just, it was a horrible movie.
Well, you can just continue it. You can just be like, oh, it's 25 years later, and RoboCop's been fucking retired and put in a goddamn storage facility or some shit. I don't know. You know what I mean? And for some reason, you gotta bring him back out, right?
Well, he would still have to have like some kind of maintenance, because he has the organics to feed him the baby food thing. But
yeah, well, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, but you come up with a story. Like, there's stories you could do just continuing it. You know? It was like the only thing that I thought the Quantum Leap fucking redo got right, which was they didn't reboot the series, right? They continued it. Now, granted, they did it in a stupid way, and they didn't bring back fucking Sam Beckett and all this shit, but they continued it, right? That's what you got to do. That's what you got to do. You take these franchises, you don't just fucking erase the originals and try
I
and
actually
redo
enjoyed the RoboCop TV series, live action series.
Oh, was it RoboCop Dark something?
No, this was a regular TV series, not the miniseries.
Oh, okay.
And actually expanded, like gave RoboCop different abilities, and made more sense too. Like when they gave him like a anchors in his feet, where like when he could stop trucks and stuff, he'd anchor himself in the ground. And
no, that's kind of cool.
And he actually had the other side of his leg would open up. He had different kinds of like they look like hockey pucks, but they're like different types of explosives. They're almost like for different situations, either foam explosives or trackers.
Question: what is y'all's top 2, or if y'all was going to do a top 5 Mattel DCUC figures, and just DCUC only? If y'all was to do a top 5,
off the top of my head,
that you have, it can't be like what you.
Yeah, that's why I'm looking over this direction. I'm looking at the ones I have. I'm going to say Asbats and Deathstroke. Out of the ones I have, those are probably like arguably like the 2 best because they've got really good sculpt and paint work and stuff done on them. And I'm sure there's better ones. Maybe I'm just looking at what I can see on my shelf right now. But
okay.
I have almost all of them, except for like the really hard to get ones.
The fucking ones I want the most, that I will probably never get because they're too motherfucking expensive, is Legion of Superheroes. Legion of Superheroes was, I mean, those were, so, you know, I've talked about it a million times fucking before, but like I started learning how to read when I was a kid because I was reading Superman comics that belonged to my mother from the 60s. Well, one of the comics that she collected was all the Legion of Superheroes stuff because it had Superboy in it. And so these were part of the comics that I grew up fucking reading. The first comic books I ever read, some of the first comic books I ever read, learning how to read, was Legion of Superhero shit. And like classic 60s era Legion of Superheroes, which is what DCUC did, was that classic 60s era. And those are probably some of my, those are like my Grail figures, my Grail DC figures that I really, really want. They're just so expensive that I will probably never get them, but hopefully Mattel redoes those when they get the license back. I'd love to see them do modern takes on those characters. So that would be cool. That's my hope at this point, because I don't think I'm ever going to afford to be able to get those other ones. So
let's see, share screen.
Nothing's happening. Oh, there we go.
Watchmen are great figures. The Comedian's nice.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I did have the Giant Lad. I got him loose on eBay one time. Since he was the only Legion of Superheroes figure I had, I sold him off.
Because I'm going to be, probably the next video I'll be doing next week is going to be a top 10 Mattel DCUC figures. So that's why I'm trying to get an idea. So that's all. That's why I was asking. Got to get that list together this coming week. I got to record them, figure it out.
It's hard to narrow down.
It is. It is when you got so many good figures.
Didn't they do total like over 300 figures?
Quite a bit.
close to it. Made that Pepsi can disappear.
I put it in there for like scale.
Yeah. It's there and it's not there.
Let's see. Well, Ryan's a good figure.
Hmm.
Phantom Stranger, that's another good one.
Mr. Fury says, who holds the rights for The Last Starfighter? Isn't it the original writer? Doesn't he still hold the rights? We've talked about this before.
I don't know. New 52 Hawkman. That's a great figure. This is my old setups where I did with the backings and the lighting stuff. Containment Suit Doomsday. Lobo.
See, I want either one of those Doomsdays, either the containment suit or the one with the Superman cape, but they are so expensive. They are so expensive.
Glow in the Dark Spectre, I like that one too. Oh, Jay Garrick. I know he's not technically DCUC, he's DC Signature Series from the subscription service. Definitely would put Jay Garrick on my list.
Well, most of my stuff is DCUC, so I'm like trying to narrow it down.
Signature Series is DCUC, so that counts.
I know, but I don't have that much Signature Series, so
It's just a continuation of this DCUC.
Yeah.
Online subscription service.
Yeah.
I think Build a Figure is kind of like cheating.
But you know, there are people who are picky. Like if I put superheroes or I put Signature Collection, I'll get somebody in the comments say that's not DCUC. That's another thing.
Signature Series legitimately is DCUC. Like it's just DCUC Signature Series. That's all it is.
I've just had a lot of people in comments when I did lists last year. A lot of them were picky about this is not that or that's not that.
Don't worry about what they say.
I get those a lot.
Fuck up. I'm sorry. Do you have a list?
Yeah.
Then shut the fuck up. Whoa, go back a few. Go back. What is that behind Lex?
That is a DC Direct Lex Luthor. You can take the helmet off here. There's actually a Lex Luthor head in that.
Okay.
But I made it like a suit body for Lex, just to stand in front of his armor.
What body did you use?
That is, I think, Phantom Stranger, I think.
Okay. Because I've got the Silver Age Lex Luthor, and that's really
cool too.
Yeah.
I want to say it's going to change every time you ask me this. Tonight, I want to say Jay Garrick Flash and Mr. Terrific.
Okay. I'm surprised neither one of y'all said Deadman, and you guys gave a lot of praise for that figure.
Well, Deadman's a great figure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And Deadman's a good figure. It would definitely be up there just because, like the reason that I picked, Deathstroke and Asbats was, first of all, because they're at the front of the shelf so I can see them. But also because they have a lot of good sculpt. But Deadman has a lot of good sculpt, too.
I can also change right now the SDC Plastic Man.
I know. I want that figure. I want that figure, but it's so expensive.
And the fire stuff.
Thor? You got Thor over there in the corner. I see Thor over there in the corner. Is he on your list?
Yeah, he's DCUC. Firestorm. I like Firestorm.
Yeah.
I can say Firestorm and Plastic Man now. Like I said, anytime you ask me, I can change.
Yeah. Because you have them all. I have them all, pretty much almost have them all.
And there's Wally West Flash. I like Wally West Flash.
I've got that one, yeah. He's a really
that Green Arrow, fantastic. That's my favorite Green Arrow.
Yep.
I've got the Robin Hood version. I don't have the moderate Green Arrow.
I think it's hilarious they put a poncho over top of its sensor in the box. It's got the comic accurate outfit, like the fishnet swimsuit. Kilowog, another great one.
Did you say he breaks though? Like he breaks a lot?
I didn't say it. He didn't say anything about QC. He said what I like.
Oh, okay.
He does have gold plastic syndrome.
Okay. That's why I never picked one up or try to get the parts, because when you told me that he has a tendency to break a lot, I'm like,
yeah, it's like I would avoid him, like buy him, because we're bound to get another one from Mattel. So
we are.
Honestly, the one I got from DC Direct is fucking phenomenal.
Yeah,
that it like it's really good. He's not that expensive, and he's cheaper than the DCUC one. He looks better than the DCUC one, but he doesn't have the articulation. That's the only thing.
And I know what DC Direct was trying to go for. They were trying to go like Todd McFarlane's do, like very minimum articulation to keep the sculpt together. Like,
well, DC Direct's just a different company. They focused on collector shit that half the time people left in the fucking package. I mean, that's honestly that's what they did.
Well, there's you. Good variety.
Display. Yeah, really sweet display. I see Bane over there as a Yellow Lantern. I possess the yellow power.
Dark Side, another good one. Calback, another great one. I'll be right back.
All right.
So what's up, chat? You got any nerdy shit you guys want to talk about out there in the chitty chat? Because I had no plans for tonight. I got nothing on the agenda.
Now, when I went out today, me and the wife we went out and did a little shopping here and there, looked at a couple stuff. There was like a festival going on, so we went over there too. Got some
nice.
hot dogs and stuff. So it was fun. I messaged you that on our group chat. I'm like, I don't know. Will we be able to? Because I want to continue G.I. Joe, but I'm looking for like specific characters.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to get like specific characters to get me started. So that's why I'm like, what do I pick? I mean, I was able to find this one at Target. They have one left. I was able to find Alvin at Target, but they did not have the firefighter. So that's why I was sending that one. Like either that one or it's either that one or the crystal. But I know the crystal is a pain to get to try to get.
I mean, like none of the Walmarts around me have updated to that collector shit.
They haven't for you either.
So I haven't seen any of that stuff.
Yeah. Problem is my Walmart doesn't have that collector's shelf, but the one that I sent you guys the image of, that was like a 45-minute drive from me, is where that collector's shelf was in another Walmart. So we were just passing through that day. So that's why I sent the image to you, and so it worked out. Got your Iron Man, got your War Machine and Omega Red boxed up and ready to go.
It's awesome. Thank you, sir.
So
George Cortez says the cavalry is real.
Oh, Black Adam, that's another good one.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the Uncle Sam.
Yeah, Uncle Sam's one I want to pick up. I haven't gotten him yet. Cause America and all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
The SDC exclusive Captain Marvel, or for youngsters call him Shazam.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really good one. Mixoplex is just a statue.
Yeah. That Parasite's a good figure, though.
Mm-hmm.
And Lex Luthor is a great figure.
I wish the
Lex
Parasite
Luthor.
could have been like the size of that Doomsday, though.
Parasite?
Yeah, because he's a leftover from DC
So, like,
DC Superheroes line, and they had a
Yeah.
size limit to 6 inches. They
Yeah.
had to fit the box. So even if characters are supposed to be bigger, they were made to fit in a certain.
Now, what Metallo is that?
That is a Build-A-Figure.
Okay.
That
Very good.
That is the DCUC Build-A-Figure from I think the Eradicator was in that wave. Dragon Ball. I found that Eradicator at a Roses about 10 years ago. And they had that entire wave. I can see the metallic armor there in the box. They had that entire wave sitting out of Roses for $7 a piece.
What the shit?
That's what I said. I walked in there, it's like, what the? This is a Walmart exclusive wave at Roses. That's before like there was even thought of the Ollies.
That's good.
Lobo. That's technically DC Multiverse. Still Mattel, but I like the Lobo.
I see the metallic Public Enemy Superman in the back.
Yeah.
That's one of my personal favorite Supermans.
I would like to get that Adam Strange you've got there at the back.
Yeah, he was a 2-pack. He came with that terrible Starfire. They gave Starfire a Uniboob.
Well, some people are into that, right, JB?
No comment.
Anti-Monitor, that's another good one. Imperiex. Oh, Robot Man up there in the Doom Patrol. The top of the head comes off, and there is a brain underneath of it.
I do kind of want to get. There's one McFarlane figure I do kind of want to get. I haven't seen him anywhere, but I want to get that Monarch figure because, to my knowledge, they've never made a Monarch figure, right?
Monarch. Oh
Yeah, from Armageddon 2001.
I think DC Direct made one, but it's more like a 5 POA type thing.
Wow. That's like the only McFarlane figure I actually kind of want to pick up right now.
That's the Mattel Ghostbusters. And the Eagle.
Those look way better than the Hasbro ones.
So what's that one character in the back? Go back to one slide. The one in the black with the red cape in the background.
This one?
Yeah.
Count Marzo.
Count Marzo? Okay.
He was introduced during like 2000X era.
Okay.
Cyborgs and robots.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to call it.
What?
Yeah, I'm going to call it for this evening.
Well, there's the Swamp Thing back here, but I would not recommend him because He's all rubber with a flexible, like a skeleton underneath the body, so he's bound to deteriorate. That's why I don't touch him.
Ah.
All right. Well, you guys out there in the chitty chat, you enjoy the rest of your weekend. We're gonna get the hell out of here. I got some stuff I got to do tonight. I didn't have any topics tonight anyway, so I appreciate the handful of you hanging out with us, and we will see you guys next time. Take it easy, gentlemen.